What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and comment. Obviously, if you follow me on Instagram or if you're coming from Instagram, you know that's like my main source of like content, but I do want to start venturing more over to YouTube. In fact, over Christmas break, I want to start posting like a lot, like 5 days a week. I think I'm gonna do like Monday through Friday, post consistently just to grow this channel. So if you haven't already, if you follow me somewhere else or this is your first time seeing me, please drop a subscription, drop a comment and a like. That obviously helps me, but I really want to grow with this. I see a lot of potential with just showing you guys my life with lifting, with motorcycles, with hunting, and I hope that I can connect with, like my own little niche of people and build my own little like army, I guess, of guys that relate with me, females that relate with me, people who are Christ followers. They love lifting, they love hunting, they love being outside. I honestly do not know the direction of my channel. I don't know where I want it to go. Like, I love showing you guys my workouts. I know you guys like seeing my workouts, but at the same time, the fitness industry is very diluted, especially on YouTube. Everyone's showing the workout. I do want to still show that, but I also want to show other areas of my life as well. So I think this sort of like lifestyle vlog, just kind of like showing you my life, is a little bit easier because I can kind of show everything that I'm doing and then you can relate to the areas that you relate with. So that's kind of today's little message. You already saw a Bible verse at the beginning of the video. Hopefully that resonated with you as well. I don't really have a plan for today's video. I think I'm gonna show you maybe a little Bible study, maybe show you my devotional here soon. Also, we're going to hit either arms or shoulders, one of the two today, and we'll show you that as well. Not sure where the rest of the video is going to go. That's kind of how this rolls. We kind of just talk to you guys, show you my day, my life. Anyway, can't thank you guys enough. Let's go ahead and move on to the next portion. All right, so I don't know how much you guys are into the holidays, but one of my favorite things about the holidays is the food. As someone in like the fitness industry, I feel like everyone really involved with dieting and fitness they're also like foodies, because at the end of the day we were all kind of, most people came from being chunky and then losing weight and then kind of getting into lifting that way. So at our hearts, we're all little chubby kids still. So I love my sweets. So when Christmas rolls around and I have any chance to get Christmas creamer, like this zero sugar peppermint creamer that comes out every year, I get so hyped. I also love the pumpkin spice one we get as well. But I think it's funny, every kid or every person that's in the fitness industry, or at least a majority of them, like I said, came from being chubby. So now we're like, leading in the fitness industry and like showing you what we do and all this and that. But at the beginning, we were all just a bunch of chunky kids. And I don't know, we all have the same story, I guess you can say. It's either that or you were like super skinny. But we're gonna go ahead and track our creamer like we usually do. We usually track all of our food unless it's like a cheat day. So I use an app called Pro Tracker. So it's super easy. Pro Tracker is awesome because it's similar to how MyFitnessPal used to be, where you can just scan the barcode and then track the food like that. So we use 32 grams. I try to limit myself though. So even though this is sugar free, I will limit myself because it's 15 calories, or it's actually 10 calories. It's 10 calories for 15 milliliters. But anyway, I try to limit myself because I can pour it pretty heavy sometimes. And it can add that, 200 calories worth of creamers, not how do you say it?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Negligible. I was saying that 200 calories worth of creamer is not negligible.
I don't know what word you're trying to say.
Like, it's not, I'll just use this. So 200 calories worth of creamer is not
negligible.
Make sure you're tracking these things, even if it is like a like low calorie or low sugar option. But yeah, secretly, I'm still a chubby kid on the inside and I love my little sweets. In fact, let me show you this. So when I go home on the weekends, I usually like take some food, or I'll take my supplements, and I'll take my eggs to take back to my parents' house, the egg cartons to refill up because they have chickens and I get free eggs. So I'll take those back. But look at this. I got my Christmas cakes. I got a zebra cake in there. But yeah, like I was saying, just secretly, everyone in the fitness industry is secretly a foodie at heart. We all love food. As I was sitting there thinking about food, I looked up and saw my bourbon. And it reminds me, as Christians, there's a huge topic, or like, there's always talk about how you should probably not drink as a Christian, or you probably shouldn't smoke, or there's really hard, like, judgment towards Christians that do. And I want to tell you guys that I personally, I have a healthy relationship with alcohol. I enjoy whiskey. I enjoy a really good beer. And I hope you guys do as well. Maybe that's something you guys can connect with me on. But I think you can have a healthy relationship with alcohol, with food, and still be a Christian. It's when it gets to, stages where you're like overeating, or you're over consuming and you're getting drunk, or you're being a glutton, that is where it becomes an issue. When the thing becomes more important than God, and becomes more important than your health. But I feel like there's nothing wrong with having a nice glass of whiskey, having a nice cigar, enjoying a good meal with your family that might be unhealthy. But it's all about moderation. And, even so, like, if you are someone that prefers not to drink, and you feel like that pulls you towards evil, and that pulls you away from having a connection with God, all glory to you, and that's what works for you. But it really bugs me when people get super judgmental towards other people based off how they're following scripture and how they're following the word of God. It's kind of like the whole phrase, like, you're judging the splinter in someone else's eye but ignoring the plank in yours, meaning like you're so quick to judge other people's sins when you have bigger issues on your plate. And that's something with the fitness industry I think we could all get better in general, not even the Christians, in general, just judging others. I think we can just create an environment, like, it is obviously the fitness industry, it's really based off your physique and how you look, but at the same time, we need to take a step back and really look at it as an art form, and kind of look at it as like, we're all just doing it for fun. We're all doing it to like see how crazy of a physique we can get, instead of like judging people so hard on the actions that they're taking. Maybe they're taking some supplements that you don't agree with, and just kind of I don't know, spread love. I'm kind of all over the place, but that's kind of how I am. Let's drink this little coffee, and I don't know what we're gonna do next. Like I said, maybe a little Bible study. I'll show you guys the devotional. All right, so today we're going to be reading from our devotional, which is Stay Strong 365 Devotionals for Men, which is super useful. I do like to read scripture as well, but for days where I can't really like get in my Bible plan, I'll just grab this, get a little scripture in, or get a little message in, maybe a couple. That's really it. You get your word, you start your day off right. I also do love to take this in the woods with me. So because I am behind, I didn't start this exactly on January 1st. I am super behind, so I take it in the woods with me, and I'll just sit there and read as many pages as I can. And obviously I still have a bunch to work through. But let's go ahead and read today's. Now, some of the stories can get kind of goofy because it kind of tries to tie the story into something that you understand or something that's interesting. So just bear with me. General Dwight Eisenhower was known for his courageous leadership during World War II. His battle-tested skill equipped the troops to reclaim Europe. In 1952, he was elected president. While in Europe, Eisenhower had experienced the danger and difficulty of navigating the twisty roads. As president, for the sake of U.S. national security, he commissioned the construction of what is now the nation's interstate highway system. In ancient times, conquering kings gained access to newly acquired territories through highways built for their troops. Isaiah had this in mind when he declared, "Make straight in the desert a highway for our God." And John the Baptist called people to repentance to prepare the way, Mark 1:3, into their hearts for the arrival of King Jesus. It says here, what preparation needs to be done to allow Jesus unhindered access into your heart? Are there rough places of bitterness that need the bulldozer of forgiveness? Are there valleys of complaining that need to be filled with contentment? Let's prepare the way for the King. So this is actually really awesome, and it kind of relates back to a message that I posted on Instagram the other day, which was basically telling people that you don't have to be the most perfect person to start following God. You don't have to have all of your crap figured out, as some would say. The biggest thing is actually just committing to God, praying and committing and verbally telling Jesus and God that you give your life to them. And you're basically, by doing that and by making an effort to reach out to God and to commit to Him, you're paving that road. You're opening your heart up. You're opening your life up to what comes with following Christ. And through following Christ, that's when you start to become clean. I know the analogy I used on my video the other day was you don't have to be clean to take a shower. It's the process of showering that actually cleans you. And you don't have to be clean to follow Christ. It's the action of following Christ that makes you clean and improves your life. So that's today's little message. I'm actually happy that it actually correlated back to something else that I could talk to you guys about. Look at this little kitty right now. Hey! Those are mommy keys. Don't do that. This here is Binksy, named after the kitty from Hocus Pocus. She's a little Halloween kitty. Look at the pretty colors. Look. Another thing to mention is I would like you guys to comment down below any sponsors you think I should reach out to. We already have our Legion sponsor. Code Riley for 20% off at legionathletics.com. They have awesome supplements. But I also want to find some more sponsors, especially with me wanting to grow on YouTube and wanting this to be my full-time job and us starting to post way more consistently. I want to have some solid sponsors that really align with who I am and the things that I do. So whether it's hunting or it's motorcycles or it's gym stuff or it's clothing of some kind or food or anything it may be, maybe it's health supplements, comment below what you think or what brands you think I should reach out to, to sponsor these videos and to promote their products. One thing I do like to tell people is that with doing content on Instagram, you really have to have a business behind the content to actually make a living out of it, which is fine. The biggest thing is I get to inspire people and help a lot of people with my following and still growing the fitness coaching and Synchrist, which is obviously super awesome. And I really, really love doing Synchrist stuff. But what's super cool about YouTube is it's really raw. You make content, people like the content, and you get paid for it. And that's my dream, is to just, get paid to do content and inspire you guys on here. If I could do it over again, would I start YouTube instead of Instagram, grow on YouTube and then venture out? Probably, because now I have this really huge following on YouTube or on Instagram, and the return on that isn't the greatest in regards to just making content and receiving money. People always ask me you've been doing crazy good on on Instagram, how much are they paying you? And it's nothing. So it's my goal, and my goal all along has been to become a YouTuber. That's what I hope to do. So drop some comments down below of sponsors that you think I should reach out to. All right, fast forward many hours. We actually came home. We've decided we're gonna hit shoulders instead of arms. I was thinking about doing arms, but because it is so late, I've decided, we'll go ahead and hit shoulders. It's a little bit easier to hit. Typically, if my parents were probably home too, I probably wouldn't come out and lift. I'd probably just spend time with them. My parents actually aren't home right now as we speak, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go out, hit a little shoulder workout before they get home. And my arms, I can squeeze an arm workout in, a reasonable arm workout in 25-30 minutes, honestly, if we're being realistic, and so can anyone. But as of lately, because of arms being a lacking muscle group for me, at least for what I consider a lacking muscle group or an area that I want to emphasize, I've really tried to emphasize putting a lot of sets into those muscle groups. So biceps and triceps, and also shoulders and chest, I have been absolutely drilling, making sure I'm hitting a lot of sets, not with the emphasis of hitting a lot of sets, but more the emphasis of hitting more sets of those muscle groups than I have before, just to really build, whether they're lacking areas or they're just areas that I want to build just because they're fun to train. And I think it's really smart to reflect on your workouts, because I honestly don't think anyone should overcomplicate their workouts. But if you do have a lacking area in your physique, I think it's worthy to do like a trial period. So maybe do a week where you count out how many sets you did for that muscle group, granted keeping the intensity the same. So counting out how many sets you did for that muscle group, kind of getting a baseline, and then the next week trying to one up that by 5 sets or however many sets it is. So I have gotten to a stage where I'm doing, this might sound crazy to you guys, but I'm doing like 20 to 25 sets for biceps, triceps, for chest, and for shoulders. Well, shoulders is a little bit different. Shoulders is probably around 16 to 18, somewhere around there. But my arms, I've been absolutely drilling. And, there is an argument. Like, you're just doing a bunch of, like, wasted reps. You're doing, what do they call them? Oh, junk volume. They'll say you're doing a bunch of junk volume. And that's one thing. Like, that makes sense to me. But the only argument for that is that you do a bunch of junk volume, you're super sore, and then you're not able to hit the muscle group like another time that week. But for me, I'm doing 21 sets of arms. Let's say I was to hit it on Wednesday like it is today. Let's say I hit arms today. Come Sunday, or even, dude, come Friday, I'm fresh again. I don't know why, but my arms can stand so much stimulus. Same with my shoulders. Chest, back, legs, those are a little different. But shoulders and arms, I can hit them. Honestly, I could probably hit them back to back and not be too fatigued. Now, that's not smart. But what I'm saying is junk volume is a thing, and you really should consider it. But if you have more in you, do more. I think more is better. But yeah, we're going to go in. We're going to hit some side raises. Shoulders aren't complicated for me. I stay away from pressing as of lately. I was doing pressing because it helped me overload my shoulders. I felt like there was a solid point behind doing shoulder press for a while, because I was like, okay, well, I need a way to really progressive overload each week on my shoulders. For bench, or for chest, you have bench. For back, you have things like deadlift and like lat pull downs, which you can pretty easily progressive overload with. For biceps and triceps, pretty simple. But for shoulders, if you're doing side raises, I've been doing 15 to 25 pounds for side raises my whole lifting career, and you really don't get too strong in that area, and it's pretty hard to progressive overload with side raises, because with side raises you're really just trying to get blood into the muscle. It's not really a strength-based workout or movement. So I would realize, okay, I should probably start incorporating some sort of strength-based movement, so some sort of press, so that each week I can progressive overload. I can do 5 more pounds or 10 more pounds or whatever it may be, to kind of build some mass. But with that, my workouts were becoming so long because I was doing this shoulder press at the beginning of the workout, and 2, I really wasn't enjoying it. I just honestly wasn't enjoying doing shoulder press. I was feeling more fatigued in my breathing, and also with my shoulder joint and elbows were starting to give me issues. So I was like, screw this. I'm just gonna go back to spamming side raises, spamming rear delt flies, spamming face pulls, spamming more side raises, and that's that. And I think you can build an amazing physique and awesome shoulders that way. I don't think you need to complicate it. So that's why we're doing them all tonight. Some of the story is we're doing them tonight because I think I can do them pretty quick. Just side raises, rear delt flies, different variations of each. But that's really it. We're going to go ahead and get in the gym. I don't mean to copy any particular fitness influencers that may do their recording in the car, but I just wanted to hop on and give you guys a brief explanation for the whole situation right now. But let's go ahead and get in there. Yeah, that's really it. Okay, so as you're seeing here, standing up on the reverse pec deck, and I'm actually going underhand like this. I don't know if that'd be underhand, but grips like this. I saw Ronnie Coleman do them like this. I thought it was kind of odd, and I tried it out, and I actually feel it really well. I struggle to feel my rear delts, so these feel really well. Standing up also feels really good, so just try different things out, whatever works for you. One, two, Okay, 4 on the face pulls. We did 8 on the read out flies already. Face pulls don't feel amazing for me. I kind of do them out of OCD because I feel like you need them. You know, with rear delt flies or with rear delts, I feel like, you know, you have the 2 movements. You have rear delt flies and then you have a pulling motion. Obviously you hit rear delts on your back day, but you know, I feel like you got to do face pulls. Sometimes I feel too much in my trap. Sometimes I don't know where I want my arms to be, but at the end of the day, I think it's better to do them than not. But we're only doing 4 sets there. We'll go back to the rear delt flies for another 4 sets. That'd be 16 sets total, and then we will start on our side delts. All right, so one thing I want you guys to consider on these before we move on is try to think about your arm positioning. So go down and wait. Maybe this is what I do, but this might not work for you. I think about this top forearm muscle. When I'm bringing that weight up, I'm thinking about squeezing the weight with my hand, squeezing this muscle, and what that does in turn is helps me focus on raising with the elbow, but also keeps a lot of that tension on my side raise, on my side delt. So maybe try to think, if you have a hard time thinking about where your arm should be or how it should feel, really squeeze that weight and try to flex this muscle here and then strict raise up, squeeze that delt. It's kind of just what works for me. One last thing to consider on these is a lot of that pump for the shoulders comes from not resting at the bottom. It comes from constant tension. So what you can do is actually spread your legs out on these. And what that's going to do is help you basically like subconsciously stop sooner, which will keep that tension on the shoulder. So you spread your feet just a little bit past shoulder width. Now you're, instead of stopping down here, your legs are out and you generally stop just before your legs. Now, boom, tension still on, boom, tension still on. And you want to stay out of that bottom. So right as you hit that bottom, boom, fire up. Right as you hit the bottom, fire up. Okay, so cable side raises, nothing crazy. Honestly, when I think of these, I think of the OG Rich Piana video where he basically explained the point behind these, right? You can do normal cable raises, I guess you could say normal, where it's super low, but it's really just pulling on your trap. So the higher you raise it, right, the weight's going this way now, so it's pulling more tension on that side delt. That's what you want, at least for having the most tension at the bottom of the movement, which is pretty rare with your side delts. If you were to move it down, obviously it's pulling you down, more tension on your trap, but then that's more tension at the top of the movement. Whereas when you get to the bottom, it relaxes. So the higher up you move it, the more tension you're gonna have at the bottom of the side raise. All right, so that's the workout. It's super, super loud in here. The music is insane, so I apologize that. I'm gonna try to talk as loud as I can and probably reduce the noise, so it's probably gonna sound all messed up. But let's go ahead and pose. Obviously, we've had the cutoff on the whole lift, but we'll show you what we can. So currently, what are we doing right now? Basically, like maintaining / bulking now during the week, and then, you know, I still like having my cheat meals, but just because I am eating more calories, more satiated during the week, I'm not really craving that hard. I feel really full right now, like carb wise, water wise, which is awesome, because typically I was being in a deficit all week and then having cheat meals, basically a whole cheat weekend starting on Saturday night to Sunday. So then I would hold a bunch of water and then I would cut all week basically again, lose all the water weight. So now I'm kind of at a more steady water weight level, I guess you could say. So I feel really full. Obviously you can see my chest is even pumped. So, but we went ahead and did 4 more sets of side raises after our cables, which was 16 total sets of side delts, 16 total sets of rear delts. And then as you saw at the end, we did some ISO holds with just super lightweight. Did 2 sets of those with 5s, and then 1 set with, or 2 sets, 1 with the 5s and 1 with the 3 pounds. And those feel amazing. Sometimes you forget how good isometric holds feel. I feel like you probably did them towards the end or towards the beginning of your lifting career, you know, like do a set of curls and kind of just hold it there for a minute. But as you get further into your lifting career experience, you kind of forget to do those. So doing those iso holds, man, felt really good. I mean, there's not much more to show you. Going for the crazy capped round shoulders, obviously. Starting to lose our definition here, but feeling really good. Now this is going to be, you know, one of the bigger emphasis this bulk is just growing massive shoulders, massive chest, same as our last bulk. You know, I always tell people that trend twin look, right? The trend twins are not crazy lean besides the show they did during the summer. Outside of that, they're not ever really like shredded, but you don't really notice that because they're so bulky. Their chest, their shoulders, their arms are so big that all you can look at is what's going on up here. You know, this could look like whatever. As long as you're jacked up here, doesn't really matter. And honestly, it's more realistic, right? You know, being able to be in that 10 to 17% body fat range, be super jacked, that's more realistic for a lot of you guys. So, one thing too is I do rear delts at the beginning of the workout because, you know, I feel like they're a lacking muscle group for a lot of people, and I like to emphasize them while I have the most possible energy. So throwing them in at the beginning of the workout. And I will say maybe next time I'll kind of alternate back and forth, but for sure always starting with at least 1 movement of rear delts.